What's up, everybody? So this is one of our clients, Meg. So first off, Meg, I want to say a huge congratulations. You became a firefighter not too long ago.
I
So
did.
how has that whole process been for you?
Uh, One of the more challenging things that I've done, not just physically but mentally. But overall, you know, it was, it improved me. It helped, make me better. And yeah, no, it's been great. It's one of the best decisions I ever made.
Yeah, I'm so proud. I was so happy when you told me that you were going to do that, and then obviously going through the whole process with you, getting updates on how your testing was going, how classes were going, and how excited you were. And ever since I've met you, it's always been something that you've always really admired, and so to see you kind of live out a dream like that is super super cool. So Barb and I were and everyone at Protege was so proud of you when you passed that. You had everyone behind your back cheering on you.
Oh, and that's one of the things, honestly, that I can say truly kept me going. It was you guys and helping me train, and then like Christy and you and Barb and Katie and Brandon, a whole bunch of people. Like it was always checking in, like how's it going, or they would work out with me even when the workouts were freaking killing me, and it was everybody just was with me every step of the way.
Yeah, it was super awesome, and it was I loved when we finally got the text, and I loved the pictures of the graduation ceremony, and it's been awesome to watch. And um, I was actually kind of thinking about when I was asking you to do this, we're actually coming up to our personal training, our first session anniversary coming up here. Do you remember when that
Like
was?
the real first session, or the
Yeah,
session that I didn't show up to?
yeah, that first session, the one that you showed me on.
I remember making that phone call too.
Yeah, it's actually really amazing. When I first started training, almost 18, 20 years ago, in that first year and a half is when I met you. You joined that's when I was working at Gold's Gym, and you and Chris both joined together. Chris showed up for her session.
She sure did.
Yep, and she trained with me for a while, and
Mhm.
it's great watching her get married and have kids and all that type of stuff. And um, and then your first appointment, showed me,
Yep. Yep.
and you know, th- that happened all the time being a trainer.
Hmm.
Someone joins a gym, they get their free consultation. A lot of people thought it was going to be some sales pitch where really, it's the same thing when we have someone, does like a 7-day trial with us. It's come and check to see if you like the place out. I'm not going
Yeah.
to, I know so many places you walk into and they beat you over the bush until you sign up, and then you feel guilty and bad about it. It's the last thing. I don't want a client that doesn't want to be there. I want someone that, we love the clients that come in like, hey, I was referred from Meg. I hear you guys are the best. I want to start training with you guys. What can you do? Okay, well, let's figure this out. Let's just adjust to what your goals are, and here's what it's going to be, and let's go. And you didn't even start training with me right away.
No, and I was just saying that's the really funny thing is even though I know showed, uh, it's still, somehow we managed to still make that connection, and not only, you helped me fitness wise, we became friends. But yeah, but look, it's what, 15 years later, something
Yeah.
close to that. And so yeah, so I still, showed up, so to speak.
Yep, you did. And that's one of the things. Like when, again, if someone, when I was working at Gold's Gym, or even now, if someone contacts us at Protege and comes in, you know, we're here to help.
Hmm.
And anybody can tell you to jump around 10 times and to go run laps and to do this or that. And that's really not what Barb and I are about, and why when we opened up Protege 3 years ago, we named it Protege, because we want to teach all of you guys what you need to do.
Hmm.
When you first joined the gym, what were some of your goals and what were some of your struggles?
I'm gonna say struggle wise, definitely was my consistency. I had been an athlete and essentially, kind of still am, but you go from being an athlete to hitting your early 20s, and then your diet changes, your lifestyle changes. I was thinking, well, if I still work out, if I still, jump on a treadmill or I go do this workout, I can keep my eating the same, or nothing was consistent. It was always up and down. So I really struggled in that sense, in finding what would work for me. And, and so, yeah, I struggled with that a lot. And in joining Protege, or especially training with you and Barb, it's not always just about the workout, but the knowledge that I gain every time I'm working out, whether it's a different move that we do, or I can, work this muscle a different way, or if I am struggling, my shoulder hurts, my back hurts, you can still work out. You just need to adjust.
Yeah. And, it's when you think about when we first met, and then it was probably about a year and a half until you actually started training with me. Mm-hmm. And now over the last 15 years, I've trained you at probably 5-6 different facilities. Protege is probably number 6.
Yes.
And I know that the Gold's Gym in Woodbury, I wasn't even working for Gold's Gym, and I walked in and was training you there for a little bit until they got really pissed off that I was training you there. And
they frowned upon that.
But that's one thing, when I was training at a place, how come one place would be in Badness Heights, one place would be in Blaine, then all of a sudden I'm in Fridley, and then all of a sudden I'm over here, all over the place. What was the one thing that anytime I was like at a new facility that you would come there and train with me, even though if it was out of the way, like I did an interview with Katie, who you're really good friends with now, she used to kind of live in the area. She lives over in St. Paul now, and she drives St. Paul to Fridley. We have clients that drive from Stillwater to Fridley to train with us. How many places did you drive by? So what are some of the things? Why did you keep wherever I was at? And then also once you met Barb, 7 years ago, what made you continually to follow and work with us?
Well, first of all, it was always, no matter where I was in my fitness journey, where I was at in my lifestyle or what I was doing, whether I was coming to the gym consistently, or if I missed 2 weeks, or, I was never afraid to come back, or I feel like ashamed. It was always a welcoming environment. And it was always, all right, let's, get back on track. You don't miss a beat. And, there's such a sense of community, especially, that you and Barb have started, that makes it where you want to be there. There aren't a lot of gyms like that. And you and Barbara, like I was saying before, are so knowledgeable, whether it's with nutrition, or like I said, training for something specific, whether I just want to come in and I just want to do a workout and just be put through the ringer, or, hey, I need to be able to lift something really heavy, drag it a certain amount of feet. It was incredible to me, the improvements I see. I just have to tell you what my goal is, and you both make it such an easy experience.
Yeah. And when we first started working together, some of it was just to try to get you consistent and eating healthy, and finding a good balance. Then there was a time there that you were thinking about doing a fitness show, and we went to a very restrictive diet and lifted very specifically for that. And then a few months into that, you're kind of like, maybe this isn't for me. And I don't really train people that way anymore. I see way too many people do it, and they do 1 or 2, and then all of a sudden 6 months.
I'm really grateful that I did not do that. It's funny. I was thinking about that the other day. In my mind, I thought that was the answer to getting that would make me really happy with my fitness level. That was, to me, thinking, okay, well, I'm going to work towards that. But you don't think about what happens after that. And there's a lot of things that people struggle with negatively after doing a competition or a show like that. I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying that instead, make the goal about, working on you and your lifestyle, rather than focusing on that one thing it's like an instant gratification almost, rather than making it a long-term process. But yeah, I was saying, I can't imagine where I would be at if I had done, a competition. I know that just wouldn't have been for me. It wouldn't have been beneficial for what I needed.
Yeah, especially when you were in kind of your early to mid 20s, I know some of the negative side effects. We talked about that females especially, it can be a very damaging thing self-image wise.
Yep.
And not only that, but the diet you put your body through, it can be bad for you physically, those things as well. It's not a lifestyle. And I really admire and look up to a lot of people that have some of that. You and I both know some people that are bodybuilders, males and females, and it's a very rigorous thing, but it's not for everybody.
Right.
And kind of like you said, a lifestyle, so many people hear that, hey, eat chicken and broccoli, or like you said, lifestyle. So many places out there, and why people feel like they are going to get pressured into sales sometimes are all these 6-week challenges, which are just marketing tactics. Places that do a 6-week challenge, they're not caring about someone's health, physically or mentally. Hey, let's put you mentally and physically through the ringer for 6 weeks to have you lose 15 to 25 pounds, or within 2 weeks you get hurt or mentally frustrated and you never want to work out again. And it's a really bad situation to be in.
Well, and at the end of that 6 weeks, you're like, oh my gosh, thank God that's over. Now I can go right back to doing what I was. You're not focusing on learning anything. You're focusing on getting through that 6 weeks. I've done those too.
Yep. So. And we've done challenges, and you've done some of them, and it is a really good thing. But you also understand, hey, once this challenge, or and one thing that that we always teach when people to eat is, hey, you should have different periods of different goals throughout a year. It
keeps things interesting.
Yeah, and it also keeps your body from adapting, keeps that mental stress down. And if you're always trying to diet, we all know those people that have been trying to lose the same 20 pounds for the last 10 years because they're always dieting. They're never making changes and actually transforming their health or transforming their lifestyle and those type of things. And, and knowing you for as long as I have, we've been friends. We've experienced a lot of different things in life together, from me opening my own business, you getting married, the day that you were married. Like, how long have you guys been married now?
It'll be 4 years in February.
Okay. And we have pictures at our website of, you and Bert, and getting to see that relationship go, and then you guys getting married, and you guys, building a life together is just awesome. And, how good a shape you were in there. And actually, I think right now, today, you're in the best shape I've ever known you in my life. And I started knowing you in your early 20s, and now you're mid 30s.
Yeah.
And shape of your life.
I feel like I'm in the best shape. And it's funny that you bring up my wedding, because one of Bert's friends said to me, he goes, I was talking to somebody, as you were getting ready for the wedding and everything. He goes, I said some girls lose weight for their wedding. He goes, Meg got in shape for her wedding. And I thought that was such a huge compliment, because it wasn't about just weight loss. Yeah, you want to get in shape, you want to look good. And so yeah, that, to me, that was a bigger thing than you look really thin. Like, hey, you got in shape. Not that so. Yeah,
and why starve yourself to lead up to a wedding, to where you go on your honeymoon, and in 7-10 days on a honeymoon, you put 10 pounds back on. Like, and that's where some of that mental stuff can be the biggest struggle for people, because they're all worried about dieting rather than, hey, I want to get healthy and in shape. It's not about, hey, I need to lose 20 pounds. It's, hey, I need to make these lifestyle changes, and the results and health will come with that point.
Yeah.
What are some of the, one of the things, whenever I get a text message from you, a Facebook message, or if we're out in public and talking with people, one of the things I always love, and you always call protege, it's always my gym.
I probably do.
Yeah, I'm inviting some people to my gym today. Is that cool? Yeah. Or, if we're out and about, hey, this is Scott and Barb, the owners of my gym my gym. And, what I love that aspect, because that's so kind of just describes our community and our clientele. I can, put out on Facebook, hey, it's a family atmosphere. People don't really understand, why do you always use that phrase, my gym?
Because it truly, and it's, I've come, no matter which class that I take, what time of day, which I've varied. I've taken, I haven't taken 5 a.m. a lot, but 7 a.m.s, 9 a.m.s. I've taken 4:30. I've taken 5:30. No matter what, there's always, like, it's a fun group. Everyone's always encouraging each other. A lot of times, those of us that go to the different classes will check in and be like, "Hey, I can't do this time today. Would you do this time instead?" Or, um, you know, I just I don't ever dread going there. It's never like, oh, I have to go work out now. It's, I get to go work out. I get to see these people that I enjoy being with, and then you're doing something good for yourself in return.
Yeah, one of the biggest things I love when people come in, because people come in all different stages of health and all different goals. And, it might be someone in their 20s, it might be someone in their 30s, at 40s, it might be one of our clients that's retired, and lots of times they don't have a specific goal except for like, hey, I want to lose weight. But then as they start growing and changing in that community, some of the goals start changing towards actually health.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the greatest things. And like you said, the community aspect there, and you can hop into all these different classes and you
And
can
I
be
can still get a great workout for what I need, and I'm working out with somebody that has a completely different goal or a different body type or whatnot, and it doesn't matter. And
yeah,
that's awesome.
yeah.
I
And
mean,
it's,
I'm still gonna get my butt kicked, and they're gonna get their butt kicked, but it's accessible for anyone, no matter where they're at in their fitness journey.
yeah. And it's one of the things, that we have that on our website, like we, put on there, our classes are adaptable and they're, um, adjustable, and they're set up for different periods, kind of accomplish whatever goal. But a lot of people don't understand that we could have a client, we could have you in a class, and then all of a sudden next to you is Dan, and then next to you is Nicole, and all of you guys are very strong, very athletic. And then all of a sudden we have Bonnie, who's 64,
Yeah,
and right next to you, you guys are kind of doing the exact same thing. And,
right.
a lot of people are like, geez, when my mom comes into 10:30 workouts, the hardest client I'm on at Protege is probably my mom. When you guys think you're getting a bad workout next to my mom, because, I'm more aggressive on her, and she's in her 70s and retired, has
Mm-hmm.
had 2 knee replacements, 2 hip replacements, 2 rotator cuffs. I've had to rehab it, help her through all of that type of stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people don't understand that. I mean, you can go to a lot of these places and sign up, and, but the value that you're getting of just being told to, hey, get your heart rate up to 180 for the next 2 minutes, and everybody in a row is doing the exact same thing, or, hey, everyone do this exercise repeatedly for the next 5 minutes. Well, there's a lot of people that can't do that. And there's, I know that you've tried other places. I've had other clients that have gone someplace with a friend, and they come back and like,
But
people
watching
have
those
to,
classes, like I said, I may have witnessed one recently. Nobody looked like they were having fun. Every single person looked miserable. Nobody had a smile on their face, and it looked miserable.
yeah,
So that's where therein lies. That's a huge difference right there.
right now, where you're at in your life, where do you kind of see some stuff going? What kind of goals do you aspire to now? Because there's a lot of people, I just did a post on Facebook yesterday with you, Barb, and Meg, and about how so many people look up to you because they want to get where you're at, and
Mhm.
we can, and in that post I talked about, how people can look at you and like, oh my gosh, that person's had it so easy. Oh, it's so easy for them. Thinking never had a struggle. And that's just the way human nature is. They put people on a pedestal and think it's something unattainable. Um,
Well, I mean, and it's choices. I'm the one ultimately responsible. And I always, I try not to be super hard on myself all the time. It's like, I want to enjoy my life. And so diet is one thing, and it's making the smart choices. Not that I don't have a burger or not, but it's planning. Hey, when I get hungry, I always have protein bars with me, or, uh, different snacks. With just joining the fire department, there's a supper club that you should be a part of. It's camaraderie. Everybody eats at the same time, but it's not the healthiest of cooking. And it's stuff that I don't always eat all the time. So small portions of that at dinner, and then I just adjust whatever I do for lunch. And then, that's always been a learning curve for me, is the food. And so when I do maybe not do so well, I've just learned, like, hey, it's going to be totally fine. You just, start over again the next day, and, so that's been great, learning what works for me, and that's something I want to continue to work on. And then just be able to maintain what I have done, and then continue to learn things. Finding out, like, all right, do I want to be able to just deadlift this much, or maybe do this many push-ups? I'm going to set small goals like that.
Or
Just
your pull-up pullover combination.
That I need the pull-ups. Yeah, I need to work on that for sure. So yeah. So to me, just keeping it fun. And well, I also, this is random, but also in the academy, part of our workouts during training would be like box jumps on a tire. But if you didn't want to do the box jumps, or if you couldn't, then you did the step ups. Like, well, and I thought, I've never been able to do these. I'm always too afraid I'm going to hit my face. Like, I'm just going to biff right over that. And one of my classmates was like, just do it like this, or think about, not jumping so far forward. And I did it. And so now I've just been working on being able to jump higher, and continuously getting better at that. Something I never thought I could do. And it's just a little thing. But in my mind, I had already thought that I wasn't going to be able to do it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, when you talk about like box jumps as an example of something to work on, or like pull-ups, some of the goals that we have for all of our clients is to have people do a perfect squat, a perfect deadlift.
Mm-hmm.
You should be able to press something over your head perfectly and carry it. A lunge, a push-up, pull-up. Box jumps are not normally something that we do, because in real life, it's not something that's a necessity, but for an athletic power move, it's a very good thing. So working on with certain clients and getting your athletic there, being a firefighter, that's
Mm-hmm.
an important thing.
Mm-hmm.
And majority of the time when we don't do it, because the risk reward, especially on females, your hip structure is different. You're more likely set up for ACL tears. So if you're doing something like that, you can go to some facility, and some box jumps are sometimes a very regular thing, and you're getting exhausted and you're doing a motion, and all of a sudden, boom, there's an ACL tear, and now you're out for a while. And so that's always a big thing, when we're working with a client, is, like you said earlier too, over these years, what are the current goals? What are the current things? We've always kind of switched that. And, with your diet, that's always one thing people always beat themselves up over. And that was the biggest change that kind of in that post with you, Barb, and Melissa, was you guys started developing a better self-image and realized I just have to be better and healthier tomorrow than I am today.
Mm-hmm.
And you just make better choices, because people just struggle so much with diet. And then there's like, oh, I can't do this. And then they're done. Barb and I teach tons of different protocols and why you're doing it, and then finding things that work for you. So like you said, is, hey, if I'm at the firehouse and for 3 nights straight, I have to eat some dinner as I normally don't eat,
that has like 4 containers of heavy cream in it or something.
Right. Yeah. But so you just adjusted your lunch and your breakfast to change up a little bit. And then the following week, you just clean up your diet a lot more specifically, and you're back on track. It's not a big deal. Where a lot of people, they have those 3 days, and then it turns into 3 weeks of bad habits and wonder why they didn't change at all.
Yep.
So
no, it's easy to slip into that, or, like I said, it's just making a conscious choice, and it's not all about like a restrictive eating. It's make it, and you'll notice, or I notice, that you feel better. I don't feel good when I eat bad, or necessarily there's just, things that I'm like, I don't care to eat that, because I know I'm not going to feel good. Like a donut, I don't feel good when I eat that sugar. But there's other other things like, pumpkin spice cake.
Chips and
So
salsa, nachos.
nachos. Yep.
But that's all part of changing over time and realizing that. And that's one thing you learn, not just getting stronger in an exercise or more fit, but starting to really be in touch with your body and how it's reacting.
Yep.
If you're eating something bad, like how bad you feel physically the next day, or your
Or
workouts.
even in an hour. Like,
Yeah. And it's some of the really things I'm really proud of you over the last years as well, is like all the 5Ks, 10 milers, all the runs that you do. We have a large group of you guys at Protege that do runs very regularly. If you were to look back 10, 15 years ago, when I first met you, did you ever see your lifestyle becoming the way it is now?
No, I in my brain, I think I thought I was being really fit and healthy. But what I was doing also never challenged me or made me uncomfortable. And it's the uncomfortable stuff that you got to get through to get to where you want to go. I had never run a single race in my life until I was 30 years old, and I'm 38 now. And my first 5K, I remember being so hard. That 3 miles to me was so difficult, and I was so excited that I had done it. And since then, I just did baby steps, and then finding out, becoming friends with Barb, and that she liked to run, and she never, even though she was an experienced runner, never made it about her and her pace. It was always we were running together. And then, now Christy and Dan. And the best thing is we don't do it because we feel like, oh, I'm dreading this or I have to. I will only do it if it's enjoyable. So we just, like you pick the ones that you feel like doing, and it's a fun thing then. So,
yeah. And you run 3 to 5 miles weekly for a fun thing.
Oh yeah. Yep.
That's crazy to think about. And same thing with just you becoming a firefighter and the strength that you've attained and the health you've attained. A lot of people when they first start out too, if you start developing these habits, really looking at 10 years down the road. How many people just work out, think that, hey, if I work out for these 6 weeks, my life is going to be different. Well, it's not. It's just a small window of time in a course of your life. And, it's one of the things that with you, so many of our clients that Barb and I just love is you have really become our proteges and really know everything that we know, and where your health has gone because of it.
It's easy to take with us, whether, say I go to my dad's just overnight and I wanted to run the next morning, but it's raining. It's like, it's like, hey, well, just put together, some squats and push-ups, whatever. I can just do just something to be moving for 20 minutes. That's, that kind of stuff starts now to play through my head where it really didn't before as much. And I was going to say too, my weight and fitness has, fluctuated, and I've learned from my mistakes and my struggles. And anyone can look in my folder and see, as I was telling you the other day, over the last 5 years, kind of where I've struggled and where I've come back and not struggled. And so it's always a learning curve. So, I can definitely say that I'll still be learning for a very long time.
Yep. And like you said at the very beginning, as we started talking is that's one thing you love. You're always learning. It's been 15 years and you're still learning. And part of that is because Barb and I spend a lot of time continually learning to give you guys as much knowledge as you possibly want and what we can give, and that's the important part, like I said, is to teach you guys how to, to have a healthy lifestyle. And yeah, and you just kind of said folder, and, all of our clients get a folder, track your stuff, and if we pulled up your folder, like we literally have
it's 2014, I think, is what I have started in there.
Like a weekly weigh-in since 2014, so 5 years. And there's sometimes where that weight's up, sometimes that weight's down, but that's the way life is at times, though.
Well, 100%. And so that's why, and that's the thing that I was saying is holding yourself accountable and being consistent. And it's like, yeah, I don't really like the number that I saw But instead of just being like, oh, that sucks, you know, you just little by little chip away at it. And then, yeah, sometimes you can stay doing really well and then you teeter a little, but it's, you know, it's being able to be comfortable enough to continuously coming back and asking for the help where you need help, and being in an environment that makes it, you know, not suck to work out and to learn about your food. And you know, it's just a comfortable atmosphere. It's not intimidating.
I'm kind of losing you. You're freezing.
And and you can definitely see that by the diverse clients that are there.
Hey, Meg,
And
your Wi-Fi is shutting down. There you go. You're coming back a little bit. Are you there? Hey, no problem. I'm gonna end on that note, and
yeah.
yeah, you sound like
Okay.
Mrs. Roboto. You're starting to come back a little bit, but no, I appreciate you coming in and talking a little bit. And yeah, I'm glad to know a couple of those fitness goals. But yeah, we'll work on some of the you're back. We'll work on some of the box jumps and the pull ups and stuff. And I really appreciate you talking, and I really appreciate, you know, the friendship that we've had for almost 20 years. It's an awesome thing. Like, I don't know where Barb in my life would be without so many clients that support us in so many ways, and we're able to support you guys in so many ways, and just appreciate the environment that you helped us build as well. You said that, you know, Barb and I built that. Well, that's on you. And we appreciate that a lot. So thanks again. And yeah, we will be talking soon.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate you and Barb, and I'm always happy to talk anytime anybody that has any questions about anything. So, but yeah, thanks for having me chat.
Thanks, Meg.
All right. Bye.
Bye.